here, let's talk about scale and hierarchy. We're still talking about visual hierarchy, and we're talking about how do I make the prima donna, the primary element, truly stand out. And I was giving you an example earlier about a whale, right? A big whale, and when I kind of follow that whale all the way to the surface, then there's something up there. And I give you an example of a fishing boat, but doesn't have to be. As you can see, these little silhouettes kind of like dancing around make me move across from one umbrella to the other, and then eventually get to that text and read the text. So in this composition, for example, whale is the prima donna, is the primary element, the figures secondary element, the text tertiary element. Everything moves beautifully, and no drama. Scale and visual hierarchy are some of those creative fundamentals that can really make or break your designs. It's important to have a good hold on them to maintain a successful composition. Here there's some examples, scale, right? This one is definitely the prima donna, even though the Eiffel Tower is an iconic, amazing building. But in this photograph, because this fellow is so much bigger, obviously it stands out. In brief, hierarchy is the arrangement and design of element in order to visually signal importance. Scale as well. This is another example. You might make a more important element bigger and bolder than a less important element, which might be smaller and fainter. For example, the word Miami is much stronger than visit, isn't it? For example, this poster designed by Jessica Swedson uses a scaled up image as the largest element, which helps it attract the most attention and focus. The title is the boldest, largest piece of type, as it is the most important piece of written information for the specific communication, and the body copy is much smaller. So scale has been used to signal the focal point and to maintain typographical hierarchy. Another thing that I think helps tremendously this text to stand out is all this beautiful negative space, all this white that makes it honestly so sexy, I think. This white that kind of carves into the image and kind of chips at it and kind of hugs in a way. It's almost like a hug around that word that makes the word stand out. So I think that first you go into the image, then you kind of follow these kind of wedges, these white lines into the center where the words stand out most. Other examples of scale. Now, if you notice, the skull, the generally has a very, dominant, beautiful, is very striking. In this case, it's not as important as the eye. The eye has this really big, bold, the size is striking, the colors is strong. Then you go down and read, and then eventually you get to that little almost faint skull at the bottom. This is beautiful. There's so much kind of three-dimensionality to this image, but there's no doubt you first go up here because this text is so big. It's bigger than the fellow, is bigger than the building. It's almost a building itself, this text, right? So you first read the text and then you dive down into the composition. Here you can see these silhouettes, stands out, right, in this, beautiful expanse area, and then you move up to the text that is faint and a little bit kind of disappearing. For example, this poster designed by Scott Hansen uses a scaled down small silhouette of two people to help communicate the massive scene in front of them. This instantly gives viewers a sense of the grandeur and size of the scene. Scale is so important. And then, obviously, balance. And we'll talk about this next time.